Sorry about that. My bad. Good evening or good morning, Hellhound. Sorry, it's been a long day. I've done a lot of video editing and notes, and I did my show earlier. It got done at 2. I had to go to dinner. I lost my AirPods on the taxi. I just bought them yesterday. My AirPods. I lost them on a taxi. So hopefully my sound's not too horrible. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go to Costco. If you guys go to the Apple store, ooh, nice job, Eli. Very cool. Hey, I jumped on really quick. I wanted to talk about, I don't really buy into this whole algorithm with YouTube. There's not this whole, like with me, this master strategy, certain time of the day, certain algorithms. I just put stuff out there. I just do what I do. Midnight, 3 in the afternoon, whatever. I want to talk about Karoline Leavitt if we can really quick, because this is why I started doing this. There's something called a Pharisee, okay? That is somebody that is essentially, hold on, I want to read the description for you guys really quick. Bear with me here. I want to pull up the description so you can, this is important. And I'm going to start using this more and more, and I don't really care if they like it or not. Hold on. Let's see. A Pharisee, characterized by hypocrisy, self-righteousness, legalism, and a focus on outward appearances rather than true faith. They prioritize man-made rules, seek power or approval, and judge others while neglecting the spirit of love and mercy. See, this is what the MAGA movement and these fake Christians are, because they're not Christians, they're Pharisees. They weaponize the Bible, and they talk about God, 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 God. They put American flags in their bio. They call themselves a self-proclaimed patriot, lover of God. They drive to church with F. Joe Biden on their trucks because nothing says I love Jesus like that. Faith without works is dead. And that's what Karoline Leavitt is. She wears a 3-foot golden cross. And that's the extent of her faith and her religion is right there. Today, Jen Psaki said, I don't want to hear about thoughts and prayers. And she's completely right. And that's why I created that thumbnail. Can you imagine? I want you to think about this, honestly. You're going to walk by and see somebody drowning in a pool. And Karoline Leavitt's going to say, I'm going to pray for you. Jesus is on the way. Is that faith? Because that's what we do every time we see a school shooting, right? And that's exactly what Jen Psaki said. Praying doesn't mean diddly jack without works. President Carter, as an example, at 80 years old, built houses for homeless people. That's faith. Building beds, feeding the poor, helping the needy, giving clothes to people that don't have clothes, being kind, compassionate. What do you see Karoline Leavitt do? Worshiping her orange daddy. Buying into the patriarchy. She's the typical white evangelical that feels like she needs a man to make herself feel good about herself. And she wears the Donald Trump knee pads and she buys extra sets because every 3 days she has to change them out to please her orange daddy. Faith without works is dead. You're welcome. Judging, right? What's the next thing that these Pharisees say, these MAGA Pharisees, these white supremacists, right? Who are you to judge? Well, great. Faith without works is dead. By the measure you judge, lest you be judged. Judge thy neighbor fairly. Remove the remove the log from your eye before you see the speck in your brother's. It's all over the place. You're supposed to judge righteously. Do I eat this or do I eat this? Is it safe to cross the street? Is he guilty or innocent? See, they don't want to judge, right? And here's the perfect example. Let's look at the demonization of brown people in this country, because that's what it is. It's racial profiling because they're white supremacists. Let's take George, okay? Been here for 40 years, raised his kids, runs a business, has a house, never been late, never committed a crime, never done anything wrong to anybody, right? Loves this country. But now, this guy comes in and goes, nope, not going to work. Your kids can stay, but I'm going to rip you away from your family. What would Jesus say about that? He'd be sickened. He would be mortified and disgusted. While kids are there screaming and crying, they don't give a damn, right? But it's about doing it the right way. It's about law and order. Okay, so let's pivot to that, okay? You voted for a convicted felon, an adjudicated rapist. He sexually assaulted 25 women. He kissed them, he grabbed their breasts, and he touched their backsides without their permission. Specific dates, specific women. Had dinner with white supremacists. Sat on his fat ass for 3 hours and ate donuts and Twinkies while he changed his diapers and put on more orange makeup because he's essentially a drag queen. Now, somehow, that guy gets a pass because he's a white man, right? Oh, he's a patriot. Now, if you're born on an American flag, how dare you? You're a traitor. Leave this country. But if you're white and you're a U.S. citizen and you beat officers with the flag on January 6th, you're a patriot and you're an alpha male. You're a real man because you love Jesus. See what I mean? It's always been about maintaining the white patriarchy. Colin Kaepernick takes a knee. He's a son of a bitch. But if you make fun of disabled people, oh, here's the nuclear codes. Hey, no one's perfect. It's funny how nobody's ever perfect, but yet they never vote for Democrats. It's funny how it appears that only one political party gets a pass. They are not Christians. They are Pharisees. They are the same religious Sanhedrin that literally crucified Jesus because he was blasphemous. Yes, the religious leaders that followed the word of God, like MAGA, murdered the Son of God because he was blasphemous. Sound familiar? These are the great Christians, right? What happened on January 6th when they lost? We're going to beat police officers. Oh, I don't like what this person says. I'm going to leave death threats and racial slurs. And I'm going to go in front of their house. Yeah, because nothing says I love Jesus. Faith without works is dead. By your fruits shall you be judged. I don't have to know Hitler. I sure as the hell know he wasn't a Christian because I can judge his character. Benito Mussolini, sure in the hell wasn't a Christian. Jeffrey Dahmer, sure in the hell wasn't a Christian. Donald, sure in the hell isn't a Christian. Leavitt, sure in the hell isn't a Christian. I don't need to know you personally. If you go out to your backyard and you see lemons, you don't have to talk to the tree. It's a lemon tree. If it has apples, it's an apple tree. If you see a duck, quacks like a duck, swims like a duck, it's a duck. Those are judgments. They just don't like it. Yeah, Biden was a great guy. Was he old? Yeah. Was he perfect? No. But he sure the hell was a lot more of a person of faith than this dumpster fire. And how is he supposed to be fishers of men? This great man, allegedly, that's sent from Jesus, asked what his favorite book in the Bible was. It's too personal. Okay, do you like the Old Testament or the New Testament? Oh, what is that? Well, hold on, wait, I can't say that because I'm going to look dumb. I like them both equally. So this guy that's sent from Jesus, that's supposed to be here to bring Christian values to this country, that dumbass can't even tell you what his favorite book in the Bible is. How is he supposed to spread the word of God? Can you imagine Jesus or Paul or Barnabas saying, oh, hey, Paul, what's your favorite scripture? Oh, I can't tell you. That's too personal. Sorry. Nope, can't do it. Five Alarm says, when am I moderating? I'm trying to do it during the week normally. I happen to be in Las Vegas because I'm hosting a radio show. So it's a little, this week I'm a little off, but starting next week, if you can email me, I'll let you know. I will work on it. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, see, and well, I don't know who Rocky Balboa is, but I'm an atheist and I easily could have cited a book of... Right. But see, and Rocky, see, this is perfect. See, I'm a person of faith and you're an atheist. You know what? I love you too. I don't care. You have your right to live your life. So, Rocky, let me ask you a question, okay? This is a question, if I can ask you this. Now, you see someone like Karoline Leavitt that's wearing her cross and says, I'm a Christian. Look at me. I'm a patriot. I got guns and American flags. Pew, pew, pew. Now, what if you see somebody like me? And hell, God knows I'm not perfect, right? And I'm saying, you know what? I don't care if you're an atheist, Rocky. I love you, and I'm fighting for your rights, and I'm standing up for you, even though we may not see the world the same way. Which of those people do you think that you're going to be more prone to listen to or talk to, or maybe at some point go to church? Which one of those person, as a person of faith, would you not judge those two people and say, I wonder? Because Rocky is a hell of a lot more of a Christian than her. Exactly. See, Rocky cares about people. Rocky's empathetic, compassionate. Everything that MAGA isn't. That's funny, isn't it? That Rocky that doesn't believe in God, and that's okay. This is not a judgment. I don't care what Rocky believes in. You can worship a grasshopper. It's your free will to do that. It is your choice. But he is more Christ-like than them, because for a lot of MAGA, they think that morality comes out of a book written by dead people. Look, I was named after Saul of Tarsus, who was Paul. That's who I'm named after. But I can also question the book. Like, hey, if God's pro-life, why did he flood the whole earth? That's a fair question. But if you ask that to a MAGA or one of these Karoline Leavitts, they just start yelling about Antifa and the radical left and who are you to question God? And if you don't like it, you're going to hell, right? That's what they do. Because when you're growing up in an evangelical church, you're told not to have critical thinking. Don't question God. Don't question the pastor. Don't question the deacons. You just do what you're doing, little boy, or else God's going to punish you. Don't you dare watch porn. God's going to zap you with a lightning bolt or give you a flat tire. And you live in this traumatic experience where your entire life you think that you're just this horrible person. And if you have a bad thought or you do something bad, that you're going to be punished. That's not a relationship. They don't want the New Testament. They want law and order. They always want to punish people. There's no empathy. They literally like throw Jesus out with the bathwater. All they want is the Levitical laws, but only the parts that pushes their hypocrisy, like a man shall lie with another man's wife. But they'll miss the part that says that a man shall not lie with another man. But then they'll say, Deuteronomy 22:22. If a man shall lie with another man's wife, that is detestable in the sight of the Lord. Both shall be put to death. Funny. I see no one on the right saying that this is the way we're supposed to handle things. And Kathy, it is about control. And when somebody asks you about abortion, I want you to tell them this, Kathy. Ask them a question, because you can't argue with MAGA, right? It's like talking to my cat that licks his own butts, right? They're not very bright. They have concepts of a brain. Why did God not stop Adam and Eve from eating the fruit when he could have done it? He could have stopped sin. Free will, right? Didn't stop the Holocaust. Segregation, the Trail of Tears, Sandy Hook, Uvalde. Why? Free will. And that's what MAGA is really about. It's about maintaining control. The original design of this country was to benefit the 21-year-old white man. That's it. It's all control. That's all it's been about. It's about control. Who is the sorry, sure. I don't know what that, it says who is the mode, and then it got deleted or disappeared or something. Actions speak louder than words. Yep, it's about control. And then what happens, Kathy, is this. When you, in the evangelical church, you have these You basically create this toxic masculinity that's completely devoid of empathy and compassion. You basically take all of your emotions out, right? It's all about owning guns and owning the flag and patriotism and owning the libs and defeating your enemy, right? And this big tough guy yelling and angry all the time. And then you're told that the woman has to be submissive to her husband, right? So what happens is you have, tell me if I'm wrong, when you see a lot of these MAGA women in rural areas, they have extremely low self-esteem because they're told that their purpose is to serve their husband. That's not a relationship. That's not a partnership. That's essentially slavery. I don't want that. I want to have a wife that's my best friend. I don't want to control anybody. Oh yeah, I will. 5 alarm. Give me a day or two because I'm on the road. I'll see if I have time tomorrow. But they don't want free will. That's the whole point. They want to play God. They just want to control. I mean, that's why they crucified Jesus, right? They crucified Jesus because they wanted him not to say that I was the Son of God. And if you don't believe in it, that's cool. But it was controlling Jesus. Like, you better bend a knee to our religious agenda, or else we're going to disagree with you, not that we're not going to be friends with you or not invite you to the cookout. We're literally going to take your life, Jesus, because you don't agree with us. We're going to control you. And it's the same thing right now. And part of it is money. Lanky, that's the other part. And Lanky, to take that a step further, what exactly do Republicans say every 4 years? And I have to make a video about this. Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Okay, think about that. They're asking you, me, Paul Lance, am I better off? Let's say I am. So what? If I'm in a let's say I'm in a neighborhood with 10 people and I have more money in my pocket, okay? Am I supposed to just vote for that person because I have more money in my pocket? What about the other neighbors? What if their life isn't better? Isn't that selfish? I mean, you say love thy neighbor as thyself, but the Republicans' motto is only care about yourself. Are you better off? See, and that inherently is the problem, is they're selfish. And in this last election, they didn't care about anybody except for themselves, right? They didn't care about the survivors of assault when they voted for what he did to Jean Carroll and the 25 women. They didn't care about Officer Sitnick. They didn't care about the officers that have long-term disability. They didn't care about any of the harm that was done to women having their abortion rights taken away. They didn't care about the increased sepsis rates. They didn't care about Amber Thurman or Audriana Smith. They didn't give a damn. They just wanted cheap eggs. It's funny that as they sit in church with their F. Joe Biden bumper stickers and pretend to be a Christian, they read out of a book that says, you're supposed to build your wealth in heaven where moth and rust doesn't get to it, right? Well, okay. That means morality, decency, kindness, empathy, taking care of others. But what do they vote for? Caesars. Remember the story? When the rich man came to Jesus and goes, how can I go to heaven? Anything, Jesus, just tell me anything. Cool. I only want you to do one thing. I want you to sell all of your worldly possessions and follow me. That's it. Prove to me what's more important to you. What did he do? He walked away, didn't he? It's easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into heaven. They value money. He said, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. They value a king on this earth. They value money over morality and decency and compassion. They literally care about nobody but themselves, the antithesis of what Jesus stood for. Yes, in Colibri, that's a great point. The orange plantation owner had the audacity to go to heaven. See, and that's the point, right? And I don't know if you caught this. He said, if I can stop this war in Ukraine, which, of course he was supposed to do on day one, actually, before I got into office. Oh, wait, just kidding. I had concepts of an idea, of course, right? Because his base believes whatever he says. If you can earn your way to heaven, then that's not really faith. I thought you were just supposed to pray, right? And ask for forgiveness. So how could you go from he's sent from God, but I'm going to earn my way into heaven, but then call yourself a person of faith? See, it's, again, his base isn't very bright. It's a religious cult. It's not a political party anymore. I could stand corrected, Nellis. If you want to correct me, I'm not perfect. That's the way I've always understood that scripture. But yeah, send it over here. Anyone has to ice says nothing and get a lawyer. I believe they were self-aware. Yeah, the way that this is, listen, the Democrats are wetting the bed. They are an utter and absolute disgrace. Gavin Newsom, listen, I don't think he's perfect. If I have to vote for him, I will. Don't want to, but I'm going to do it. Yes, but there's not enough Gavin Newsoms. These are the brown shirts, right? We've militarized DC. They've downloaded our social security numbers. Somebody has them somewhere, but nobody seems to care. They're literally covering up for a pedophile president who's in the Epstein files. I mean, let's be real. They wouldn't be doing this if he wasn't in there. The economy is going down the toilet. He's going to try to fire the feds. When that happens, it's game over, people. I'm telling you, if he finds a way to fire the feds and puts one of his people in there, we are done. That is not metaphorical. That is not overstatement. That is the end game. You think it's bad now? You wait until he messes with the interest rates. It is over. I'm in Las Vegas. Every single driver I've spoken to today said, I've never seen it this quiet in August, ever. The only thing that's keeping them up, it was a Cisco conference this week. They didn't care about others as long as it didn't affect them, and now some of them are starting to feel. Right, and Terry, see, that's the problem. That's why they're not people of faith. They're Pharisees, because they only care about themselves. Their motto isn't love thy neighbor as thyself. It's only love thyself, right? Because what did we hear yesterday, right? Innocent children that we're supposed to protect are dead. Some were still in the hospital, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't read a lot of the news today, so I'm not trying to misspeak here. What's the first thing they said, right? You're not taking my gun. Pry it from my cold. The first thing they did, these fake Christians, was think about themselves. They didn't care about the freedom of the kids. Don't tread on me. They don't care that our kids go to school and do active shooter drills. They don't care that parents are afraid to send their kids to school. They don't give a damn. All they care about is what they perceive as some infringement on their constitutional rights. They're not pro-life in any aspect of the word. The only life they care about is their own. That's what's sad. Oh yeah, the loss. Are you talking about I know what you're talking about. That was like in July. I know that con. I'm actually going to Fan Expo in San Francisco. I go to that in GalaxyCon. Yeah, I'm a big comic book nerd, in case you guys don't know. I don't post a lot of the comics, but I'm an absolute junkie for comic books. Mistranslation with the original or camel could also be referred to as a thick rope or camel. Oh, it could be. I will look into that, Nils. I had not heard that before. Yes, I will tell you this, and I don't really care. What gives me comfort is this. There's going to be a day where the guy sitting in the Oval Office is going to stand before God. This is what I believe, okay? He's not going to have his cult there. He's not going to have money. He's not going to have lawyers. He's not going to have his diapers and his Big Macs and his Diet Cokes and his orange makeup and his hair transplants. He's not going to have fake news there. He's not going to have Fox or Stephen Miller. Nobody's going to be there. The emperor will have no clothes, and he will be judged according to what he did. And he will be bunking next to Jeffrey Epstein. I don't want that to be for anybody. But what he's done to people in this country, scared people, demonizing trans people, it's deplorable. I don't care what you are, gay, straight, whatever. I don't give a damn if you marry a cow. It's your life. Live it the way you want. It says love thy neighbor, not love thy straight white Christian neighbor. Yeah, he'll probably tell Jesus, lots of people told me I should go to heaven. Many people, lots of people. I can see him trying to calm Jesus. Jesus is going to say, shut the F up. You've done enough talking. You did what you did it to do. You lived. He doesn't love himself. He doesn't love his family. He doesn't love his kids. He doesn't love his grandkids. And he sure in the hell doesn't love his concepts of a brain white supremacist based. He doesn't know how to have basic human emotions. And when you do that and you're lonely, the only thing you know how to do is to tear other people down. And that's what MAGA do. There's a word. I want to share a word with you guys. And I think I made a video about this, but it's been a while. Hold on. And I want to get the right definition here. Hold on. Here it is. Boop. Oops. It's a German word called Schadenfreude, pleasure derived from someone from another person's misfortune. So basically, they get off on owning the libs. And people with a lower self-esteem have a higher version of Schadenfreude. Let me see if I can find there was a. And I always use this story, and I don't know if I'm done here. Yeah, he's a sociopath. He is. He's a loser. He's an empty vessel. You're a wonderful creator, the best creator. Yeah, many people told me that you're great, Jesus. Look, the reality is he's a loser in life. And they're attracted to him. You ever seen like flies attracted to dog crap? That's what this is, or like a rotting garbage. He talks stupid to them. Listen, I can sit here and come up with some coddling answer. I don't care. This is what it is. Kamala Harris was too smart for them. These wannabe alpha males were threatened by a black woman speaking complete sentences, having an actual plan, talking about policy, and they wanted the bumbling idiot that talks about Hannibal Lecter and windmills and eating cats and dogs, concepts of a plan, moving hurricanes with Sharpies. He's a dumbass. They're like, yeah, woo, oh, I'm American. Oh, yeah, this is the rain of the swamp. And the guy's the biggest alligator in the swamp by a lot. I have neighbors like this. They love to see people in the poor. Yeah, that's great. And here's the thing, okay? I'm going to use a Batman reference, and if you've heard it, I apologize, but I love it. When Bruce Wayne, I wonder if I can hold on. Let me see if I can play it. Hold on. I haven't tried to play something on another screen. Here it is. All right. I'm going to play this. Tell me if you guys can hear this, okay? Hold on. I'll wait till the ad runs. Okay. Can you hear that? Can you guys hear? Can't hear that either? No? I'm not sure why you can't hear that. Okay, well, I'll tell you what happens, basically. That's really strange. Oh, wait. Hold on. Hold on. It might be because it's on the computer. Hold on. I think I know why. All right, I'm going to do it this way, okay? Hold on. Here we go.
I knew the mob wouldn't go down without a fight, but
Good.
this is different. They've crossed the line. You crossed the line first, so you squeezed them, you hammered them to the point of desperation. And in that desperation, they turned to a man they didn't fully understand. Criminals aren't complicated, Alfred. We just need to figure out what he's after. With respect, Master Wayne, perhaps this is a man you don't fully understand either. A long time ago, I was in Burma. My friends and I were working for the local government. They were trying to buy the loyalty of tribal leaders by bribing them with precious stones. But their caravans were being raided in a forest north of Rangoon by a bandit. So we went looking for the stones. But in 6 months, we never met anyone who traded with him. One day, I saw a child playing with a ruby the size of a tangerine. The bandit had been throwing them away. So why steal them? Well, because he thought it was good sport. Because some men aren't looking for anything logical, like money. They can't be bought, bullied, reasoned, or negotiated with. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
That's MAGA. Whether we want to hear it or not, that is the truth. They don't care. They would rather burn Rome to the ground instead of have a black woman win this country. That is just a fact. And until we address that issue as a society, nothing matters. I don't care if it's a Democrat or Republican. Nothing matters. They don't give a shit about you or me or themselves or anybody else. They view part of this country as the enemy. This is, in my opinion, the downside of the Civil War and the lost cause. We never pulled it out by the roots. And it took a while, but now that it's back, they're the losers, right? It's fake news. It wasn't about slavery. It was about states' rights and freedom. Ooh, Robert E. Lee was actually a patriot. No, he wasn't. He was a piece of shit. Okay, you don't like it? Too bad. I don't care if your great-grandpa was there. He's a piece of shit too. You literally kept people as property and you claim to be a Christian nation. No, it doesn't work that way. They've never gotten over losing slaves. You're absolutely right. And that's why we're here. And you know why we're here? It's the same reason we still haven't taken action now. Because whether I like it or not, this is what I look like. Because white people are still, to this damn day, to this minute, hiding behind their privilege because it doesn't affect them. They're walking around in the streets in Vegas, going on vacation, talking about cat videos because their life hasn't been touched by the darkness. Because they don't give a damn about anything that doesn't affect them. And that's why we're still here, my friends. Whether we like to hear it or not, that is the hard truth. It is. Until we deal with this, nothing's going to change. Yes, they want to protect their privilege. They don't want change. They want white America. DEI, CRT, trans people, Martin Luther King bust, the Tuskegee Airmen, the first black people, right? Oh, let's stop talking about slavery in the Smithsonian. You make it sound like this country was bad. Yeah, it is that. It's bad. We've been shitty to everybody that's not white. That's too bad. They don't want to hear it because of their indoctrination that this is great, wonderful, the best. They've been told a bullshit version of America. We're not great. We've never been great for everybody. We lead the world in incarcerations, gun violence, murdering people with guns because, you know, we're such a freedom-loving country, and military spending. That's it. Not happiness, not quality of life, not affordable housing, nothing. not education, nothing. Incarcerations and gun violence. Wow. I'm sure Canada's just jealous of that stat. That's what it is. Go. I don't know if I can find the video. There was a video of him in his cabinet yesterday. If you haven't seen this, go watch it. It's about a minute. It was a clip in his cabinet. It's 50 shades of white. It's literally all white. It's like a plantation owner meeting, right? Oh, Daddy, you're so good. Oh, Daddy, I love this plan. Oh, Daddy, what you've done. Oh, no, I'm better than him. Daddy, can I lick your butt? Oh, Daddy, can I lick your shoes? It was disgusting. It was vile. Vile. That's what our cabinet's doing. I know the caucasity of it, all right. Well, Eli, to put in his words, the White House was built by black people. They don't want to admit that. But the reality is that MAGA don't want the inside of the White House to look any different than the outside. I don't know if that's a coincidence, but they don't. He's a plantation owner. Yeah, it was gross, wasn't it, Colibri? Daddy, you're so great. Daddy, oh, Daddy. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Norway's up there too. Norway's a great place to live too. Norway pays a 52% tax. I know, it's a lot. I get it. But here's the thing. They have universal health care. They have free college. They don't have poverty like we do at all. I don't even think they have homeless people. They have a damn good quality of life. And what we've done in this country is that we've said we don't want a good quality of life. We want money. Money doesn't buy happiness. 3 people own as much wealth as half the country. If that's our measure of happiness, then we're never going to be happy because 3 people own almost all the wealth. We can never be happy or have a good quality of life. The guy the other day told me it was 52%. It's 35 because I know it's 35 in Germany. He said 52. I'll ask my buddy Sarge. But most countries have universal health care. Who is the modern day Judas? Oh, wow. I haven't thought about that. I don't know. Yes, the United States is the 3rd best country in North America. I would rank Canada, Mexico, and then us. Mexico has a woman president. We haven't because we're full of misogynist pigs. She has an 80% approval rating. She's walking in the middle of thousands of citizens without bulletproof glass. Now you tell me, who's the real shithole country? Mexico or us? Yeah, sure. Yeah, Germany's not no country's perfect. But no country has 40 to 47,000 people die every year and go, there's nothing we can do. But they'll pass 121 trans bills. Somehow that's bad. Or a drag show reading, right? Oh, it's indoctrination. You're literally putting your kids in church to read from a Bible when Moses is having sex with his daughters in the mountain. What would you call that? I'm a person of faith, but I can also have a brain. Come on. They're just ignorant. They don't want to believe it. Yeah, the New Zealand president, she's pretty awesome too. Or I don't know what her title is. I don't know if she's technically a president. New Zealand, she was actually, if I'm not mistaken, she had a baby while she was there. Let's see, New Zealand. Or she might be a prime minister. Jacinda, is it Jacinda? Is that her? Hold on. Let's see. Yep, that's her, Jacinda. Jacinda Ardern. She's pretty awesome too. I like her. I don't know if she's left or right, but I like her. King David. Ooh. King David was a naughty little monkey. Yes, Jacinda Ardern. Oh. You're asking me some good questions, Larry, but I have not thought about those answers. I have to think about those. I'm a visible minority in Canada and have never had a bad encounter with law enforcement, U.S. cops. Yes, the cops in this country are full of toxic masculinity. Next time you watch ICE, I want you to tell me when we have a live next week. I'll schedule it in advance. Tell me how many female ICE officers you see. Tell me the percentage of them that are wannabe alpha males between the ages of like 25 and 40. I'll guarantee you probably 95 to 99% of them are these wannabe alpha males. Why? Because they're angry and they're pissed off, and the only way they feel like a real man is if they get to bully people and be powerful. Yeah, that's not by accident, people. Because, look, January 6th, what was that? Primarily men. The Confederacy, primarily men. 93% of the gun violence in the United States of America is what? Oh, yeah, it's U.S. citizens, white men between the ages of 17 and 25. But I'm sorry, women are just too emotional. Sure. Okay. And then they take Lincoln Riley, right? What happened to her was horrible. But there was 43,000 people that died that year. Why is it they took that one white girl? Because it was an undocumented immigrant and it allowed him to be a racist. That's why they did it. And they put her names on bills and they put her names on because they want to scare their thoughts of a brain, uneducated trailer park trash base. That their version of the traditional family values, which is a white kid with a white cop in a white ice cream shop. The irony is that cop wouldn't even let a black person sit there. Most likely. I don't know what year that was done, but the odds were very high. But that's a great piece of Americana because it's white people and patriotism. America, America. Oh, if only we could add some guns in that picture, we'd be true Americans. Yeehaw! Dumbasses. Yeah, it's horrible, Anki, what's happening with ICE. They don't, listen, did Obama deport a lot of people? Yes. But there's a difference between deporting people with humanity and decency and recognizing that they have families and that they're human beings. And it's another thing to put people in masks like brown shirts and breaking car windows on national TV and getting on and dislocating their shoulders and treating them like they're damn animals and putting them in concentration camps. That's not the same thing, even close. He is purposefully dehumanizing people that aren't white because his base gets off on it. Like Alfred said, some people want to watch the world burn. They get off on it, and it's sick. Yeah, I saw there's a guy, if you ever go to Blue Sky, I think his name is Raid or something. It was a black kid, had two cops on his back, and even with two cops, the dude pulled out a gun and put it on his head. What the hell what's he going to do? You got 500 pounds of donuts sitting on top of you. Why do you even need to do that? What's the purpose? Because they need to feel like a tough guy, right? It's about power. The white man being in power. Can you imagine these wannabe alpha males having to report to a black woman? It would break their brains. Their masculinity would just shrink. Oh my gosh, there's no man running this country. What are we going to do? I don't know. Act like a real man and do your damn job. Stop being a little bitch and thinking that you're an alpha male. Because I don't know about you, but real men don't vote for rapist presidents. Real men actually stand up for women and say, I'm not going to vote for a rapist, and I'm going to call it out. That's what real men do. That is masculinity. What they do is just being a coward, wanting a man to rule everything. I don't know, Lanky. I think about that. I get that question a lot. I keep hearing that, and I'm on the fence about how I feel about that. I keep hearing this is not America anymore. I actually would suggest that it actually is America. That we're actually starting to see what black people have been dealing with for hundreds of years. I actually feel that way. We didn't have progress the last 60 years. we suppress the white supremacy and the racism like it's put behind a dam. And the convicted felon said, hey, take off your white hoods, come out of the closet, put on your red hats just to be a racist and open. That's what he did. He didn't create this. You got to think about it this way. This is the real America. You're right. This is what it is. We're just now seeing it in the open. He's a black light. That's all he is. He's an idiot. He's not playing 5D chess. He's eating checker pieces. He's a moron. Okay? But he's a moron that talks stupid to his base because he knows how to be a racist. That's all he's good at, is conning people. But if you take the black light on the sheets, right? The stains are still there. The racism is still there. He's just saying, come out in the open and do it in the open. That's all he did. So I know that it's easy to blame the plantation owner in the White House. I get it. But if you do some research a little, I don't mean that in an insulting way, but look at Benito Mussolini, Hitler, and Joseph Stalin. They didn't come to power in a vacuum. They had people that enabled them. Right now, the Republican Party is enabling them. They are letting this happen. They have the power to impeach him, and they're not. You can't put that on the president. They're choosing that they want to stay in power, and they don't want mean tweets, but it's okay if you and I get crapped on and we get threats, but they want to keep themselves safe. And the Democrats, I can do a whole live about those spineless jellyfish. They're absolutely pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. You really want them in the midterm? I mean, look at where we are right now as a country. Just look at it, okay? Just everything that's happening. The brown shirts, military in D.C., they voted for Marco Rubio, 10 voted for the CR, they voted against impeachment, and now you had, I believe it was 70 or 71% of Democrats still funding Israel. Really? Cory Booker voted for Charles Kushner. They're complicit in this. They're absolutely 100% complicit. I'm more upset with the Democrats than the Republicans. I expected this from the white supremacist party. I didn't expect it from the Democrats. But their strategy is let the House burn to the ground. If there's still a democracy, vote for us because we're not Republicans. That's a really great platform. I can't imagine why your approval's at like 8%. I just can't imagine. Rolling Stones put out an article last week that donations are just, what's the word I'm looking for? Not miserable. Dismal was the word I'm looking for. Well, Megyn Kelly's awful. She just bites into the page. Yeah, but here's the thing. When you look at people like a Charlie Kirk and a Shapiro, they're not stupid people. They're doing the same thing that the Klan leader's doing in the White House. They're manipulating their uneducated concepts of a brain white base. They're telling them that their nuclear family is going away, and they constantly scare them day after day after day after day. You're right. Yep. Hellhannah's right. They are grifters. That's what they are. They're absolutely. Oh, thank you, Kamala Light. Yep. I'm the same way, Quesadilla. 2 or 3 months ago, I left the party Democrats. I'm now an independent. Neither party cares about us. Yeah, they're grifters. Joe Rogan is just here's the reality is that Joe Rogan said, I'm supporting an adjudicated rapist. That's what Joe Rogan did. And I don't care if Joe Rogan has $1 trillion. I don't care if he has 400 billion followers. I don't care if he has houses. I don't care if he's the most popular person in the universe. I don't care. I care about the context of a person, who they are as a person. And Joe Rogan said, I'm going to vote for an adjudicated rapist. You watched officers get beaten on January 6th, and he said, I don't care because he's a man. I'm going to vote for him. That's the guy I want. It's disgusting. It's really disgusting. I talk to women every day on TikTok, and I have people in my life that are victims of assault. And they're mortified that this country has said that raping women and sexually assaulting women against their will, and 13-year-old Katie Johnson, as long as I whore myself out for cheap eggs, I don't care. You know how disgusting that is? And these are the people that just can't understand why you don't want to go to church. Yeah, I can't understand it. I just can't understand it. Pro-life my ass. You didn't. I talk to people not all the time. From time to time, I'll have a MAGA on, not by purpose. I don't know what they voted for. And I'll ask them why you voted for him. He goes, well, because women are weak. Or, oh, there's other issues to consider. I'm like, no, there's not. And I stop talking to them. Too many people on YouTube and on TikTok are grifters, even on the left. They know exactly what they're doing. They don't want to talk about the real issues. They want to make money. Yeah, Kaylee McEnany is pretty awful. And they all sit there with their gold crosses. If you have to tell somebody that you're a person of faith, you're probably not. It means that your walk is pretty pathetic, right? Yes. As a former Republican, the Epstein files is to think that the Republican Party purposefully went on break because they're trying to take the fact that the president of the United States is on the Epstein list where he likely molested little girls. There's a special place in hell for them. And I hope they sit all next to each other in a little cage right next to Jeffrey Epstein, and they can talk about how fun it was to own the libs. Those girls will have trauma for the rest of their lives. And Mike Johnson is such a cowardly little bitch that he put the entire Congress on recess. It is disgusting and deplorable. There's no owning the libs or I want cheap eggs. I have faith in some of the people, not the country itself. I do believe there are more good people than bad people. I think the problem is too many people are broke and they're afraid to do something because they think they're going to lose their houses, which is justifiable. But there's going to be a point where we're going to have to be uncomfortable. Yes, BOQ. Yes, they're not Christians. They're Pharisees. They're not. They're the same people that murdered Jesus in the name of God. That's all they are. They're religious hypocrites. Should apologize. Never said lied. Yes, Kaylee McEnany is no bueno. She's not a good person. No. I mean, this guy said to inject disinfectants. I mean, come on. Really? And people did it and they died, and he doesn't give a damn. He literally held rallies during COVID and people died because they wanted to own lives because how dare you tell me to wear a mask? How dare you? Yeah, the audacity. And now, ironically, right, you'll kidnap people off the streets that are immigrants in masks. Somehow it's okay now. Somehow you're protecting yourself, but God forbid you protect a little child who might die from getting COVID by wearing a mask because it's an infringement on your rights. What a bunch of whiny little bitches, right? But praise Jesus because they're pro-life. But I'm pro-life, but I'm not going to wear a mask pro-life. If you get COVID, you're going to have to die because it's God's will. Jesus Christ. Yes. Yes, he is trying to cancel the election. I predicted in February, and I hope to God that I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. His end game is going to be martial law. I really believe that. And I believe the Republicans are going to be complicit in it. And when that happens, you're going to see the Democrats on CNN. This is the law. The Democrats are fighting for you. Give me $10. Wait, we don't have an election. Well, let me go write a strongly worded letter. That's what I expect from the Democrats. I don't know, Mario. I don't really worry about that because, again, he is a symptom of a larger illness in this country. So even if that happens, JD Vance, for tomorrow, guys, I can't stream live on my YouTube channel for some reason. There were some technical issues, but watch tomorrow. I'll be live from 12 to 2 p.m. Pacific time. I'm interviewing the Ninny Cult lady. She's awesome. We're going to talk about the cult of MAGA. That's what we're going to talk about. Pushing, let me see. I know I tried to hook up. I logged in and everything. Hold on. Let me see if Brian, hold on. Let me see if he made the live. Sometimes he makes the live in advance or the day before. Let's see, tomorrow. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Share. Hold on. It'll be right here. Boop. Oh, wait. Hold on. Didn't save. What's going on here? Oh, copy. Boop. You can also listen. You can also watch it after. There we go. Let me see if I can tag this. Let me figure out how to do it. Here we go. There you go. Yeah. Woohoo. All right. It's exhausting, but you know what? This needs to happen. The whole point of this is to wear people down. He's going to start suing. This is what's going to happen. He's going to start suing people like me or individual citizens, not me specifically. He's going to go after people that don't have a lot of financial resources because he's going to want to break them. He knows he's not going to win. It's not about that. It's about breaking people down and showing that you're some kind of tough guy. JD Vance is not less racist. But I tell you what, when it comes to cult leaders, you do not plug and play clan leaders. It doesn't work that way. Cult leaders, it doesn't work that way. He is not charismatic. He is not charming. He's got the personality of a rock. What they're trying to do is use his cult of personality and destroy. That's what I think the plan is. It doesn't matter if he's charismatic. If at some point JD Vance becomes the president and most of democracy's gone, he'll just wield this power and destroy the rest of it. He won't need his base anymore. He'll weaponize the government more than he already has. I believe that's the play. That's what I really think is happening. The Heritage Foundation with Peter Thiel, Stephen Miller said it. You know, he has no charisma. He's no, I don't even know how he got a wife. I mean, I don't even know how the guy went on a date. The guy's just a loser. He has no charisma at all. But that's the play. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. I don't know. I don't really care what happens to their kids. I don't really care. That's up to him. Yeah, there's obviously health issues with the plantation owner that's going on. I mean, it's pretty clear. He's hiding his hand. He's got cankles. He's obviously decomposing. It's funny, right? Because dementia, this guy's walking around on a roof looking for his keys, trying to find his personality in his soul, just walking around up there aimlessly like an idiot. And they're like, yeah, he's a real man. Looks at the sun without glasses. Oh, yeah, he's such a tough guy. Jesus gave him x-ray vision to look at the sun. Praise Jesus. These people are just dumb. You're not wrong. No more accordion hands and swollen neck and feet. Yeah, I don't know about that. Dementia done. They'll have less rights. All right, my friends, I'm gonna have to get out of here pretty soon. I think I got to take care of one more video. I might have to upload some videos. So yeah, but Lanky, here's the thing I would say. I don't disagree with you. The lost cause is, and the white supremacists, that whole thing was never addressed as a country. And this gives us a chance, whether we like it or not, as much as it sucks. It's giving us an opportunity to finally address it. Now, we can just sit around and hope that it subsides and somehow it clears itself up, or we can actually deal with the actual problem and address it, which is what I'm trying to do. And I hope that more content creators like myself, I'm not a very large content creator, I'm doing my best, that they'll stop grifting and making money off of outrage videos every day. big yellow thumbnails. Oh my gosh, breaking news. Is this the end of Trump? Can you believe he said this? Oh, Susan Collins, she's concerned. They're grifters. They're after money. They're the same as the right-wing media, people. I'm telling you, they're grifters. I'm trying to just talk about the issues. When is the last time you saw any creator on the left that has I don't have a large following here, with 100,000 plus people talk about white supremacy or racism? I've never heard them. Not once. Why? They're avoiding it on purpose because they want outrage. They don't want to deal with the problem. And we as people are guilty of that, including myself, right? We watched Lahaina burn. How many of us have looked on the recovery efforts of Lahaina, right? We watched Hurricane Helene. There's still sewage on the streets. We don't see anything about that. How about the flood that happened in Texas? Have we paid any attention to what happened there? How about the fires in LA? Are they getting their money from the insurance? We haven't checked at all because it's not sensational. We as people have been told to be addicted to outrage. We just scroll. And many times when we have serious conversations, it's boring. And then we go to a cat video or a Kendrick Lamar song or somebody making fun of Jack Skellington. It's what we do. It's how we're fed media. I watch Rachel Maddow and I watch a little bit of Lawrence O'Donnell for the first 5 minutes, and that's about it. That's literally the extent of my news. It's extremely minimal. Yeah, Karoline Leavitt is a waste of time. She's just buying into the patriarchy. So, PJ, we should shut the country down through a general strike. What I have learned, unfortunately, is that Americans don't want to be uncomfortable. They want to fight fascism from their couch watching Netflix. They do. Until they suffer, until they lose their job or prices go up or they can't afford their house payment, they're not going to care. I wish there was a way around it. I don't think there is. Enough people are still in Las Vegas walking around doing hoodoo, whatever. Oh, whatever. Yeah, it'll work itself out. Until we get to that point, they're going to have to feel it. They're going to have to suffer. I don't like it. I don't want it to happen. I bet you can tell a little kid that the pan is hot, right? Thank you, Lisa. I'm trying to do my best. I'm trying to use what I learned as a kid growing up in a Christian nationalist home. My dad, and listen, I'm just telling you this as a trigger warning. My dad used to hit us all the time with frying pans and forks, and that's how I grew up, right? And then my dad on Sunday would praise Jesus in his nice clothes and his fancy car, and he would come back and being who he was. That was my childhood. That's why I found about this, because I was sick of seeing this twisted, demented form of Christianity. It's not Christianity. Four versions of Toy Story. I like Toy Story. I don't disagree, Quesadilla. I think people in the military at some point are going to have to decide, do they want to stand up for what's right in this country? I get the whole Constitution thing. That's great. Whoop-de-doo. I got it. I get all that. But do they want to watch this happen to their country because they're worried about getting court-martialed? Or do they want to do what's right? Because if they do what's right, A, they're going to feel better about themselves because they're doing the right thing. They're standing up for the country. And B, at some point, that guy's not going to be in office forever. Whoever takes that spot is going to see the people that did the right thing, and they should bring them all back and pardon them and put them back in the service with the pay raise. That's what should happen, and that's how they should look at it. That's what I would do. Many veterans voted for Trump. Two things can be true. I can appreciate the service of veterans, but I can also say a lot of them are racist and sexist at the same time. Both things are true. I don't think everything has to be binary, a singular issue. Both things can be true. A lot of them are wannabe alpha males that only want a man to run this country. Cops too, yep. Go look at the, I don't have the stats because I got to go in a second, but go look at the majority of domestic violence in this country. It is a large percentage of cops, by a lot, they don't know how to handle their anger and their frustration. They take it out on their wives and girlfriends, and it's sick. It happens all the time. And then they cover it up because the thin blue line of silence. I can't tell my bro because I don't want to be a snitch. Yeah, they all have anger issues. The cops have to be and you have to keep track of their records. You can't go to one agency in California and do something wrong and not have any traceability of the bad stuff you did. It should stay with you. If you do something wrong, you should be civilly liable, period. Take away qualified immunity. They have protection to do whatever the hell they want. That's not okay. They should not be treated to a different standard that you and I are. They're supposed to uphold the law, not be above it. No, Eli, not all cops are bad. But at the same time, the cops that don't say anything are complicit in it. That's how I see it. That's the only way this changes. Most cops are really good. And the bad cops do make them look bad. But also, the cops try to protect them sometimes too, and they always get a free pass. I mean, imagine what happened to George Floyd if that happened 50 years ago before cell phones. How do you think that case would have gone before a court? Think about that. It probably would not have gone the same way. They would have said, oh, he was resisting arrest, officer. Wink, wink. Right, Bob? Right, Cindy? Right, John? Oh, yes, we trust the cops. Oh, yes. There's no way that Derek Chauvin would be in prison if this happened 50 years ago. Not a chance in hell. Well, let's not kid ourselves there. Correct, Quesadilla. A lot of those sheriffs that are quote unquote law and order voted for a man who's an adjudicated rapist. Yes, it's sick. Again, I can appreciate the service of the sheriffs, but they can also be pigs as well. Because if that was their wife, there's no way they would have voted for that guy. Or their daughter was Katie Johnson, or their dad was Officer Sitnick. There's no way in hell, and they would be livid. But because it wasn't them, they don't care. That's the sad part. All right, my friends. Maybe it's okay to disagree. I'm not sure. I think, listen, Ben Shapiro's one thing. He's a lot of things. Dumb, he is not. He's playing his base because just like, oh, we're getting $5,000 dose checks. How many videos did you see about these white Trump supporters? Yay, we're getting dose checks. Where'd that go? Where's your dose checks? Yeah, military groups are. Yeah, it's alpha males is what it is. All right, my friends. I'm sorry. I got to go. I got to go to bed and finish up a couple things for Brian. I got to send it over to the Knitting Coat Lady. 12 to 2 tomorrow. The Knitting Coat Lady. See you, friends. Bye-bye.